Well, today, right now, we're still looking at Invest 98L, which is getting much better organized and now has a 90% chance uh, by the National Hurricane Center. We've given it a 100% chance of near 100 at least of this forming. But here's where it's located. Here's pretty much the track this is going to be taking, pretty much a little bit like this. But some models actually bringing it back inland now, doing something like this. So if that does happen, we're going to be seeing a less conducive or less strong storm, but we're just gonna have to see if that ends up happening or not. Here's the current track we have right now here. As you can see, pretty much going inland at this point because it does look like most models are shifting west a lot. So if it is gonna have to form, it is really gonna be right now at this point. But here's what we've given it: 100% chance of this forming. So it is very, very likely. If you look at it here, it does have that nice form. It could be subtropical though, so we're gonna have to see. But here's the system right now. So it's pretty big, and Recon is in there right now. But here's what look we have right now: maximum winds 25 knots. Recon has found much higher winds that 1,007 millibars. Now, as you can see, most models actually they don't bring it to tropical storm status. Most models only bring it to tropical depression, but they're so spread apart right now. But in all of this, this is what my model would be right now. I think it's already at 30 knots, so. But we'll just say it's at 25 knots. This is what my model would be. And then weakening down back and just staying around there. This is a little bit what my model would be. Something like that. But I do think it's going to be a brief tropical storm in the next around 24 hours. So I do definitely expect this to be a tropical storm in the next around 24 hours before it does move back inland. Look at the latest tropical, the latest models. As you can see, most models are shifting where this just went out that way, and now it looks like most models are shifting it back. Uh, it pretty much went out that way, and now this is where it's located, and it looks like most models are making it do something a little bit like this, which means it's going to be moving back inland very soon, according to all those models. Only two of them now keeping it out to sea, where most models used to bring them. Only two of them doing that. So if once again, if it is going to be becoming a tropical storm, it's going to be right now because this center is going to be staying in land for a pretty long time now. So it's going to have to be really right now if it is going to be forming. So we're going to have to see. But if we do look at the latest satellite imagery right now, it is starting to take that tropical depression force. Now that low pressure center is around right here. Now as you can see, it's really a big expo center because all the convection in the clouds, they're all to the right of the system stretching out, and then you've got this area of circulation right here. And you just got nothing on the left or the right of it, or on the left. You got nothing anywhere here. So it is a little bit disorganized, I guess you could say, but you can clearly see that rotation right there. You can clearly see move. You can clearly see that rotation. I'm going to leave it on screen where that's located for you guys. But you can clearly see it. I'm just going to leave the L right here. So you can clearly see that rotation with this. As you can see, it is turning, it is rotating right in that area. And it is blowing up a little bit more in convection lately. Now, it does look like we're starting to see this bend. So what I'm thinking, what we really need to do right now, there's a chance that there's a new center reforming around here, National Hurricane Center have said. So we potentially could be seeing this a new center of circulation, reform in this general area. But as you can see, we have this line of thunderstorm trying to stretch out. So if this is able to wrap around, we could be seeing a lot more better looking storm with this. Now we're about to take a look right here at Recon with this system. We have mission into Invest. Now look at those winds, guys. They're finding 40 knot winds. Those are 45 mile per hour winds. Those are tropical storm winds. Now for reference, the center of circulation right now, it's around here as you can see. Now they're in that big blob, as you can see, because they're going in that this entire area. They found 10 knots, right? So those are not tropical storm winds. Around the centers, they found some 20 knots, so that would be potentially tropical depression, but not really. 25 knots. But now they're starting to find those 30 knots right here. Those are tropical depression wind 35. And then now they're finding those 35 to 40 knots, which those are 40 to 45 mile per hour. So if they can find those winds sustained throughout this area, we could get this marked as a tropical storm or even a tropical depression with this. Here's the wind so far. As you can see, the winds are staying at around 40 to 45 knots, which is what we need for this system to really become a tropical storm. Here's what it's been so far. So you see it did that loop, and now it's going in that really area of convection. Now here, last news, we've given tropical storm watches for the coast right here. So if you do live in this area, we have given tropical storm watches throughout this area. So if you do live in this area, please be aware of that. It's not official, of course, but we have given those tropical storm watches with this system as it's going to be moving. Now, we're about to take a look really at those winds expected from a couple of the models. Now, as you can see, really, the GFS already has those 24 knots in this area, which National Hurricane Center has proved that, and they found much higher winds than that, so that is already out of the question. This system, actually, this model didn't show it become any stronger than 28 knots at most, and National Hurricane Center already showed that this already has more than 30 knot winds, which already disproves anything said beforehand with this. So it already shows that this is stronger than the GFS model thing. I know CMC isn't really it's not a great model, but CMC looks like 32 knots is about right with the National Hurricane Center right here. Now, this is about right. So CMC is pretty much on board also. It is pretty much true. Again, Icon going a little low with those, and as you can see, most models only bring it to this tropical storm status. Most models don't bring it. Don't bring it to tropical depression. Around 28, 24, actually around 30 knot, 32. If we have yellow, that's pretty much tropical storm. So as you can see, pretty much every model does not bring it to this tropical storm status. Now, the European model has been very reliable this season so far, so we're going to be taking a look at that right now. They only have 850, but again, look at that. The European model is on board with a tropical depression, but it really isn't too on board with some of those other things. Now, let's look at the rotation or the morticity. I think that's the morticity. Yeah, as you can see, it does show that strong vorticity right now a little bit, but it does show this becoming a very strong vorticity in the next 24 hours. And really, I think by the next 24 hours, we will have a tropical storm on our hands with this. So it is very likely. Now, we're about to take a look at the ocean analysis just to see a little bit of those temperatures with this system in the Western Atlantic. Now, as you can see, it has well enough temperatures right now. It's over the Gulf Stream. It has around 29 to 28 knots, or 29 to 28 degrees Celsius. So that is well enough. Now, it's going to be moving, according to the models, a little bit like this. So if that does happen, it's going to be moving. Basically, I'm going to go on over. This is what the system's done since its beginning. It pretty much done this, and then came back out here, and now it's set to pretty much go back in around here. So if that's gonna happen, it does have those very conductive 28 to 29 wind degrees for this, and it's gonna have lots of convection. We just need the center to come a little bit more to the right so that the convection. Sorry about that. The convection, but we're gonna have to see now. We're about to take a look at Mike's weather page because they do have the map that shows how high the wind shear is. Now, with that wind shear with this system, again, it is sheared to the right a little bit because currently it was in some pretty strong wind shear. Now, that wind shear has gone down significantly, and as you can see, it should be able to reform pretty fast, but it was being because there was the wind shear, right? The wind shear here is going this way. So we were in some pretty high wind shears, which was shearing the system to the right, which is why we had a bunch of that convection to the right of this. But we do also have some drier. But right now, here's that convection right here. And, it should be able to get it sacked a little bit more together. Now, the problem with this, we also have some dry air with this system, which is why we do also have the dry air has being intruded in the system, I guess you could say. Let's find where's that dry air. Would that be MSLP anomaly? Would that be dry air? But it does have some of that dry air inside the system. I'm trying to find the dry air. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm sorry, guys. Is that the dryer? Not quiet. I'll figure it out. Well, but anyways, it does have some of that dryer intruded in it because of that Saharan stuff in it. So yeah, we're probably gonna be seeing this forming in the next couple of days, but we'll see.